Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Club Junkie podcast, the first one of 2024. And I know I'm a day late, but I was traveling, so it's not my fault. I'm getting this out. It's just unfortunately I was on a plane the past 2 days, and I just couldn't record. When you're, the FAA does not let you record a podcast on a plane, I don't think. But before we get into today's episode, just want to let you know this episode brought to you by Titleist and the brand new Pro V1, Pro V1X RCT golf balls. Now, beyond the Pro V1 and Pro V1X, there's also the AVX RCT and the Pro V1 Left Dash RCT. And RCT stands for Radio Capture Technology. So if you're like me, you live in the north, unfortunately golf courses are closed right now. There's a little bit of frost, a little bit of snow out there. Can't play, but you like to go hit balls on your simulator, use the launch monitor, stuff like that. If you have a radar-based launch monitor or simulator, the RCT balls offer better spin numbers, better all overall numbers, and they are just designed to work with radar-based launch monitors. There's a layer inside the golf ball that actually helps the monitor capture more data, better spin numbers, things like that. I've actually talked to a lot of radar-based manufacturers, and they'll say RCT balls will actually have the machine read spin instead of just kind of guessing on it when you're doing indoor modes. But the RCT balls play exactly the same. So if you're a Pro V1 person, they're going to play the same way as the Pro V1. If you're like me, Pro V1X player, they're going to play exactly the same and feel exactly the same as a Pro V1X. They're just going to work better with a radar-based launch monitor. So go to Titleist.com, check out the RCT line of golf balls, and if you're hitting indoors on a simulator, working on your game indoors, definitely it's a big improvement to use them. I know I have been using them. I've got a box of ones and one X's, and I've been using them with my launch monitor that is radar-based. So go to Titleist.com, check them out, and there's 4 different models to choose from, depending on what you play. And as I said, I was gone the past 2 days. So Wednesday, Thursday, I was gone. I know my show usually comes out Thursday. I know you usually do Q&A on Wednesday. I wasn't able to do either one of those things because I was on an airplane. And I literally flew out on Wednesday morning, went into LA, did the whole big Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke launch event, and then got up extremely early, got a 7 a.m. flight the next morning, Thursday morning, flew all the way home. And then by the time I got home, I had to take my daughter to dance class, all this. I mean, it's one of those, just busy time. So the launch event was super cool. Really appreciate Callaway inviting us out there. It was awesome. Got to talk to a bunch of people, even outside of Callaway. There were a bunch of people from the industry there that I got to see that I hadn't seen in a little bit, which was pretty cool. And as always, you get to meet new people and hang out, and it was just a really good time. So I actually didn't get to hit a lot of product as much as I wanted to. And to be 100% honest with you, Topgolf, because it was at the Topgolf in LA, it's just not the spot that I really like hitting balls at, because even if you hit balls, they're limited flight at Topgolf. They're just a different golf ball. They don't fly as far. Ball speeds are way lower, all that. So I hit about 6 or 7 shots with the new driver, a couple of new fairways, and it was fine, but it's not set up the way you'd like it to be. So I hit a few shots, spent more of the time hanging out with people, talking with people, doing a couple interviews. Got to talk to David Ledbetter, which was pretty cool. Also got to did a great interview with Dave Neville. If you haven't seen it, go to our Golf WRX YouTube page. He gets deep into the AI smart face that they designed, and I think it was really cool to get some further detail than just what you see on like the press releases and stuff like that. But a really good time. Had a bunch, had fun, but it was in and out, man. It takes a little bit toll on your body when you get a little bit older. When you're in your early 40s. It seems to take its toll a little bit more, but it was very cool, and got to see some fun stuff. So got to see the new golf ball. Excited to hit that. I got a dozen of each, so excited to hit those when I can get out and hit those. Kind of putted and chipped around with them a little bit, and they feel really good there. When you chip with them, they check up pretty hard. The new Tour and Tour X, even the standard Chrome Soft, they work really well. So got to chip a little bit with those, hit a few putts. And then hit a few of the shots with some of the Paradigm AI Smoke stuff, but we do have some of the media samples that I'll be taking out to the actual range here and hitting very, very shortly. So I'll be actually hit something closer to real golf balls and in a little bit better conditions with a launch monitor. So like I said, the bay we had, the tee was like in between what you would use for a fairway wood and what you would use for a driver. And the mat had like this like funky, like you could tell this mat was like beat up. It had like big kind of like crevices in it where your feet would go. It was such a weird thing because if you didn't stand exactly in like it was two little craters and you had to like stand in them, and it wasn't a great setup. So anyway, it was but it was a lot of fun, and yeah, flew home and here I am. So today I wanted to jump into an episode to talk a little bit about. I know 2024 has just started. We got a lot going on. I'm excited for this year. I'm super excited for what's to come later this year. Not only with like my show, but everything Golf Through Your X, all that. But we've got some new stuff for 2024. Some new stuff that just showed up. We got a plethora of new shafts, and we got some stuff that's going to go in terms of I use All Fit for my tips, so because it's a universal system that you can have an all fit tip on a shaft, and it's basically a system where you can put it in any head. So you take a driver head, you pull the screw out, the standard OEM screw, unless it's TaylorMade. TaylorMade screws can stay in because it's kind of built around a TaylorMade design. The tip looks very TaylorMade-ish, but you basically take the screw out of a driver head, put in the correct all-fit screw that's got a little different length to it, and then each driver has a little collar that goes in the hosel, and it fits in between the hosel of the driver and the tip on the shaft. So one tip, you can use it on any head, just about any head. I mean, I think there's maybe some random, maybe Japanese domestic, JDM product or something like that they maybe haven't done yet, but everything from, Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, whoever, Mizuno, Srixon, I think they go down to Bridgestone. They've got them all. So you got all the little sleeves, put a tip in, and you still have adjustability. You can still go up, go down. You may not have all of the adjustability as some tips. Like I think Mizuno has the ability to go like, and they've Tour Edge too, like the ability to go like 3 degrees upright or 3 degrees flat or something like that. They've got a really wide range of like flat and loft. These will take some of that away. So you'll get basically about, I think it's just a little over 1 degree up and 1 degree down. And it does change a little bit of lie with that, but nothing crazy. So you still get some adjustability as well as being able to take the exact same shaft and use it in every single head. So it's kind of nice. I don't have to mess around. I can, hit different heads with different shafts, and it doesn't matter. And it's been a great thing. I've been using it for, I think, like 2 years. 1 or 2 years, and this is like my second or third year. So I've been using it for a while. I'm really happy with it. I know they've got some stuff with selling it. I've heard that there's some patent stuff, whatever. But I've been really happy with the system. I just got a couple actually new screws because I switch stuff out so often that I'll actually start to wear the Torx head of the screws out. So I got with the guys from All Fit, and they sent me a few screws, and I was very appreciative of that. But it's been a good system. But anyway, I've got about 20 tips, something like that. I've got like 20 shafts that are shafted up with these All Fit tips. But I'm to the point now where I've used them all. So I've got like 20, and instead of buying all brand new tips and having shafts, there's a bunch of shafts that I just don't use much anymore. So there's going to be a few shafts that are leaving the stable of shafts. I'm not going to get rid of the shafts, and I can always put a tip back on them, or order more tips and put them back on. But I am going to retire some shafts from the All Fit stable, and we'll add a few new ones because there's a bunch of new exciting shafts that I'll share with you today that are going to kind of go into reviewing and then also kind of use all year. So it's going to be pretty exciting. A lot of them, a lot of them are stuff that you guys asked for through doing my Q&As on Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, at Club Junkie Pod, usually I try to do it every Wednesday. Do like a live, or I don't know, like a live, but a Q&A session. You guys can ask whatever questions. Usually it's about stuff I've tried and comparing stuff. But anyway, if you follow me again at Club Junkie Pod, I do a lot there. I do a little bit on the main Golf WRX channel as well, at Golf WRX. And then, so I'm going to do more of that. But a lot of these shafts are stuff that you guys have been asking for or asking my opinion of, and I just hadn't hit basically any of them yet. So a lot of these companies that reached out, they were very kind to send me some shafts. So I do appreciate that. And there's some retires. Unfortunately, like the Valix Mansion, I just don't hit anymore. The old UST LINQ, the LINQ gunmetal, is unfortunately losing its tip. The original LINQ Purple is losing its tip, as well as I don't know what. My Mitsubishi Vanquish. And I think there's one other. I don't remember what it is, but we've got like 4 or 5 shafts that are unfortunately losing their tips. I'm not getting rid of the shafts; they're still here, and they're still actually like driver length. So I mean, I could still put them in a driver with no problem, and play them. But there are a few older shafts that are being retired. So yeah, so the new stuff that we're going to be jumping into, which again I'm super excited about, and I was very fortunate that these companies sent me some of these new shafts. But yeah, we'll start off with stuff that I'm excited about. I think the number one that people have been asking me about that I have not had the opportunity to hit yet, and I finally will, is going to be the brand new Project X Denali Blue. So Project X Denali Blue, I know we saw this thing on tour a little while ago. We got some photos of it on tour, and this is basically a brand new line from Project X, but called the Denali, and there's going to be a blue and a black version of this. The blue was the first one we kind of saw on tour. We saw it on tour in like 60, 70, 80 gram shaft options in TX. Now, I can't really swing a TX, so I've got the standard 6.5, but basically kind of a white, snowish look up near the grip, and then fades down into a nice kind of metallic navy blue. Pretty simple, little Project X logo over there on the tip, and then the Denali up top. But good looking shaft, and this one here is going to be basically their mid-launch, mid-spin version of the Denali. Now, there is a black one as well that's kind of low launch, low spin. We'll talk about that in a second because I do have that one. But the blue here is pretty exciting. It's done well, I guess, initially on tour. And then, we'll be seeing it here full retail, I think shortly. If it's not in stores already or in shops already to be fit for, it should be showing up shortly. But a mid-stiff tip section. And you're going to see kind of a mid-launch with this, but it's been really popular. It's got a straight taper midsection for a little bit more feel, more energy transfer, and then a stable butt section for control, which, for you guys to know, I mean, anything with a stiffer handle section, I'm usually a big fan of because it typically, offers me a little bit more control with my, not so smooth tempo. But it's pretty exciting. I know this is going to be a pretty popular shaft. So this is a blue 60 gram 6.5, which is their X-Flex. So it's going to come in basically at 65 grams uncut. It's got a 605 butt diameter, 3.5 degrees of torque, and mid-spin, mid-launch. So pretty exciting to hit this one. I know this has been a ton of questions. People want to comparing this to a bunch of other mid-launch shafts. So this will be definitely one that gets thrown into the mix fairly quickly because I know a lot of you are not patient and want to know a whole lot more about this. So this one will be going in pretty quickly. So excited for the Denali Blue. And the Denali Blue, I think, is the one that kind of fits my game better anyway. I mean, you guys, if you've been listening a little bit or at all, you know that I'm kind of a mid-launch guy. I don't hit a super high ball, so anything mid-launching is typically where I go. And then, the super low launch, low spin stuff, I'll hit it because you guys want to know about it. But typically it doesn't make it into my bag as a gamer type piece because I just don't hit it high enough. But that being said, I do have also, again, Project X, thank you, for the Denali Black. So the Denali Black is going to be the low launch, lower spinning version of the blue. So we'll call it kind of like mid-low, but it's listed as low spin, low launch. Now this is, I asked the guys over at Project X when they sent it to me. I know we're going to see Denali Black in some Callaway Paradigm AI smoke clubs, and it's going to be an option for their drivers. So I did ask them, I said, is this the same one? And they did say that it is. So this is going to be the same shaft that you're going to get in the Callaway Paradigm AI smoke stuff. If I think this is going to be kind of stock in the triple diamond heads, and then you can probably custom order it in a max head or something like that. So this one here, same kind of white and silver, kind of like snow ice design up top, and then it fades into black and just a little Project X logo on the tip there in the black. if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not focusing. But a good looking shaft. I think both the blue and the black, they actually look kind of similar. If you're in kind of a low light situation, it's a little tough to tell which is which, like down here in my basement. But the black is kind of a nice gloss black. Now I think the Callaway ones, if I'm not mistaken, I think are like a matte finish on the downs on the black section. I think. But this is going to be gloss black. But again, I was told this is the same shaft that you're going to get in those clubs. So low launch, low spin. Got a much stiffer tip section. Still is kind of a straight taper midsection, though. Again, for better energy transfer, but a stiffer tip than blue. And then, again, another stable or stiffer handle section. So, with the stiffer handle section, stiff tip, this will probably, be a little similar maybe to the hazardous line in terms of the way it plays, a little further away from like the even flow stuff from what it sounds like description wise. But this one here again is going to be a 60 gram 6.5, which is X Flex from them, and it's going to come in at 69 grams uncut. So a little bit heavier, same butt diameter, 0.605, 3.7 degrees of torque, which again, the torque number, when people see that, just because it's either slightly higher, slightly lower, doesn't mean that the shaft is going to be whippier, the face is going to fly open or anything like that. The torque number, especially even across shaft manufacturers, does not match up. Everybody measures it a little bit differently at a little different spot, stuff like that. So that number there typically kind of goes really by feel, like how is it going to feel. So if it's a 3.7, this will probably feel pretty good. A 3-inch parallel tip section, and then again, low launch, low spin. And on their little chart on their PDF they sent me, it's not quite the lowest of the low in terms of launch, but it should be pretty low spin. So excited to hit this one and kind of compare the two. I've heard the feel on these things is really, really good. I know a few people have already hit them and are very impressed. So I'm excited to get these out, get some tips on them, and hit them in a few different heads. So Denali Black, Denali Blue, both low launch, low launch, low spin in the black, mid launch, mid spin in the blue, and it's going to be kind of cool to hit both of these. And I think the blue probably, realistically, the black is probably going to be a little lower launching and lower spinning for me. So will it make it to be as a gamer? Probably not. I think the blue will fit my game a little bit better. But excited to hit them both. They're both going to be really good options. And again, I've seen a good amount of stuff on tour with them. And as well as a lot of people I know who have already kind of hit them and liked them so far. Now there is going to be a tour version, a TX version. I don't know how that's going to be sold, compared to these. I don't know if it's going to be sold in shops fit, but there is a TX Flex that's just slightly different. The torque is significantly lower, like on the 60 gram. You're looking at like a 2.5 for the black and a 3.1 for the blue. And you're going to have, a 65 gram weight for both, but they're going to be basically a little bit, very similar profiles, but a little bit stiffer, a little bit more stout, and like I said, I just don't quite have the swing speed for a TX, so I passed on that. I was asked if I wanted to try one, or try them when I asked, but the TX is just a little bit too firm for your boy. So there is a TX version that is on tour. And again, I don't know. The sheet on it says tour use only. I don't know if those will be available later on, from dealers or what. But the black and blue looks really, really good. So excited to hit those. And then to round out the Project X kind of new shafts. Also really excited for another one that a lot of people have asked about, and I've actually been really curious about, but this is the brand new, or not brand new now, but the Project X wedge shaft. So the Project X wedge shaft is going to basically kind of share the same profile as a Project X iron shaft. It's just going to be a little bit softer in weight. So matching up, I know that when people are trying to kind of match up iron and wedge shafts, you kind of look at it and, what do you have that's a little bit heavier, a little bit softer, but kind of the same profile or same feel. And sometimes it's hard to match up when when you're looking at different, depending on what iron shafts you're playing. And Project X is kind of one of those that, it's kind of a low launch, low spin shaft. It definitely is a spin killer, but there really wasn't a wedge version. So with these here, you're basically getting like, these are going to be the 6.0s, which are the ones that were sent for me, which is stiff. They make them in a 5.5, 6.0, 6.5, and even a 7.0. And if you're playing, and basically they're meant to match up. So if you're playing a Project X 6.0, you would order the 6.0 wedge shaft. If you're playing a 6.5, you'd order the 6.5. So you'd order the exact same flex as your iron shafts, but these here are just going to be just a touch softer and the same weight. So this is still going to come in 120 grams. Where before, if you wanted a little bit softer shaft, you'd have to go like a flex down. So if you were playing a 6.5, you'd order a 6.0 and have a little bit more feel, a little softer. But the problem is you lose weight. So instead of being 125 grams, it'd be 120 grams. And a lot of people don't like going lighter when they get to their wedges. They like going heavier or keeping the same weight. So this is going to allow you to keep the same weight, yet be a touch softer and get that feel but still get that, penetrating ball flight. Softer feel, a little better for the kind of touch and or for those touch shots around the green. So I've got 3 of these that will go in some wedges. I don't know what wedges they will go in yet. I've got a couple options, but I just got these in. So 3 Project X 6.0 wedge shafts, and these should match up really well because I've played the 6.0 iron shaft for a while, and I actually have a set of Project X 6.0 iron shafts in the Project X 0317 CBs. So I actually have that set built already. So I might put these in maybe I'll put these in some PXG wedges. And that way it'll match up, and then I can kind of play in a PXG iron and wedge set and kind of see how these go. But really excited to play these. I've been kind of into wedge shafts lately, just trying different ones. And this is one that I had not tried, and I really was interested in it because I've had success with Project X shafts, and the wedge portion of moving to something like this was really, really intriguing. So again, these ones here, the 6.0 come in at 120 grams, so they match up to the irons. 6.0 120 gram wedge shaft, a 6.5 would be 125, and the 7.0s would be 130. So matching up well with the iron shaft. So if you're somebody who plays Project X, really good option here, and I'm excited to hit it. And these will be built up here shortly, and I just got to decide what wedges they'll go in. But now that I think about it, I do have some Project X Sugar Daddy 2s that these might go in, and I'll put these 3 in and kind of see how they play next to the 317 CBs, and kind of see how they match up. But excited to try these ones out as well. Everything about these I think is pretty much similar to Project X iron shafts. When you talk about specs, the butt diameter is 0.60, tip diameter 355 taper, but low mid launch and spin, but should be a little softer for a little more feel. So excited to hit these as well and build them up. I know a lot of people have asked me about them, and I've been kind of on that thing of I love the idea. I think it's really cool. I haven't hit them, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but I've got them now, so we'll build those up and get them rolling, and then we move into some new stuff from UST. So UST has I've had their the LINQ Blue, the basically TSPX concept M40X Blue, which I know is kind of a long name, but the LINQ Blue, which is kind of the mid-launch, mid-low spin shaft, and really liked it. I've hit it really well. It's fit my game a whole lot. But there's also a bunch of other profiles that I haven't hit yet. So not only do I have the blue, which I already have, I do have the now black version. So this is the LINQ M40X, or the LINQ N40X TSPX Black. So this is the TSPX version, which is the ones they basically offer from their TSPX dealers, but it contains really high-end carbon. They have this M40X high tensile modulus carbon that's in here. So the black here is going to be the low launch, low spin version. Much like everybody else, this is going to be, blue is mid launch, kind of mid low spin. Black is going to be low launch, low spin. And then they've got a red that is going to be mid-high launch and mid-spin. But in terms of profile, it's got a fairly stiff handle section, kind of a little softer mid-section than, say, blue does, but then a much stiffer tip section. So the mid-section is going to be a little bit softer, but this is going to be the 60-gram F5, which is a 60-gram X from them. And for the F5 there, it comes in uncut at 67 grams, 3.5 degrees of torque, low launch, low spin, with a .335 tip and 3 inches of parallel tip section. So they don't have the butt diameter, but I bet it's right around 6 something. It's going to be pretty close to 600 if I got my calipers out, but cool looking shaft, kind of an ion plated black, almost like super dark gray. Got a lot of M40X stuff there. I kind of love the TSPX concept little logo they do. It's kind of like a little light bulb, and it's just kind of a cool set. But excited to hit this one because I did like the blue. It'll be kind of cool to compare blue to black. Again, low launch, low spin, so maybe not exactly what fits my game, but excited to test it out against blue and just see how it performs, and then I'll be able also to kind of relate to you guys the differences and the similarities. But very cool looking shaft, and it'll be a good one to put up against some of the other low launch, low spin shafts in here, because I know people like to compare and what are other options, and there's some hot lower launching, lower spinning shafts out there right now. So it'll be pretty exciting there. As I said, I have the blue already, but I did just get a red. So when talking to the boys over at UST, kind of mentioned that I've had some, they were kind of talking about shafts and what I was looking for, and kind of mentioned, I've had some success with, with the Ventus Red and TR Red, and they basically were like, yeah, we'll send you a LINQ TSPX M40X Red, which is this bad boy right here, and kind of a cool red ion color. I mean, the blue is kind of a blue ion, the red's a little, kind of a little deeper red, but it's got some, you can see more of the graphics on it, which is pretty cool. This one here, again, a 6F5, so X-Flex, uncut weight, 68 grams, 4.1 degrees of torque, mid-high launch, mid-spin, and same thing, 3 inches of parallel tip section. But yeah, excited to hit this one there. Again, it looks like the handle section is going to be kind of like a little bit of the softest of the three, where it kind of starts out along with black and kind of drops a little faster in terms of the flex, but still should have a pretty stable handle section. Going to have a little softer mid section, and then the tip stiffens out a little bit, but it'll still be kind of softer than the other two. So kind of exciting to hit this one. They were actually really nice. Sent me a 60 gram and a 70 gram. So the 70 gram will definitely go in a fairway wood, and we'll hit that in some fairway woods as well, which is kind of cool. I'm excited to do it because I don't really get a lot of shafts to put in fairways. So having this in a fairway wood is kind of exciting. So I don't know what it'll go in yet. I don't know what tip. I could put an all-fit tip in there on it and put it into either a Callaway or any of the interchangeable or adjustable 3-woods. I could put it in there because all fit does work with fairways as well. So I might do that, and that way I could kind of swap between Callaway, TaylorMade. I kind of see what other tips are in there. I think or sleeves might be like Mizuno or Cobra. So I could swap between a few. But these M40Xs are really good. These links are really solid. So really excited to review the red in driver and fairway. Because I have not hit that one yet, and it'll be nice to get that bad boy going and compare it again to some of the other higher launch stuff like the Ventus Red and TR Red, stuff like that, because a lot of people ask what's comparable, and it's another option here that I haven't hit yet, but will. And then we move into the one that a lot of people have asked about and I haven't hit, but again now will, and this is going to be the UST Dart V. So this is the Dart V. I don't know if this is going to show up on YouTube because it's like matte black and the logo's matte black. Everything's matte black on it. So I don't know if it'll actually focus on it. My camera won't. But this is going to be the Dart V. Again, TSPX concept shaft. So kind of higher end, using higher end materials. And this is going to be the 105. So when talking to the guys over there, what do you play? I said, I had the steel fiber 110s, had the Axiom 105s, and kind of talking to them, they're saying the 105 is the way to go. They do make a 120 in this shaft as well, but to me, 120 is kind of, it would have been all right, but 120 is about the edge of how heavy I play, and I've kind of liked going down a little bit from that. So 105s here, these are F4s, which are stiffs, and if you're basing off a 7-iron, you're looking at 104 grams. I think it's 2 degrees of torque, and so this is going off, mid-launch, .60 butt section. These are 355 taper, and they do make the taper version, so you can go for a 2 iron at 41 inches, all the way down to the wedge at 37 inches. So these have the 105s, but excited to hit these. I don't know what I'm going to put them in yet. They're either going to go in the Mizar Tours, or I might do. I've got some Nippon 115s in my PXG 0317T heads, and I like them, but they're just a touch heavy. So I might put these in those heads and redo them. So I don't know. We're going to see. But these just got them in, got the set 4 through pitch. So excited to put these in there and try them out. Because I know a lot of people have asked about this shaft. I've seen it out there, and it looks really, really cool. I mean, straight matte black, slightly shinier version, where it says Dart, and then a really dark kind of silverish gray. So you almost see nothing. I mean, it just kind of looks like a black shaft until you really kind of get up close with it. But yeah, I have the set of these 4 through pitch. I'm going to put them in, like I said, maybe the Mizar Tours, maybe the 0317Ts. I don't know yet. I was thinking about even a different set of irons, but I don't have them. But we'll see. They're going to go in something, and they're going to be. I'm excited to play them. So have these, and then also with these is 2 matching wedge shafts. So we have 105 wedge shafts in these as well to kind of match up. And that'll be kind of pretty cool to do, especially in like a gap in a sand, because you can kind of match up the wedge shafts to these, and it'll be pretty interesting to see how those play. Because I do, as I've been doing this more and messing around, the wedge shafts are pretty interesting. And, they basically match up right now, with the wedges there. So to go through pitching wedge, gap wedge, sand wedge, kind of have them all match up, consistency, all that would be pretty awesome. So we'll do that. I don't know exactly what the wedges will be. I've got some wedge heads from, still around. We've got, RTX 6s and stuff like that. So maybe I'll do something where an RTX 6 and put these in. Or, do I... instead of doing the Project X in there, do I do the Project X in a different set of wedges and put the 105s in the Sugar Daddies? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to have to match them up somehow and do that. But the Dart V I'm really excited for. Again, being kind of mid-launch, a little lighter weight, should match up well with kind of like, the steel fiber stuff I've hit, the Axiom stuff, and it'll be nice to kind of compare these. Again, heard good things, had a few people who've put these in play, mostly in the 120 weight. From what I've spoken to a lot of people, but I'm excited to try the 105s and build them up and see how they play. So it's going to be pretty fun. So those are all the new stuff right now, shaft wise. That'll be going into the rotation. Again, there's more stuff coming as launch season goes. So we're going to hear about more woods, more irons, more hybrids, fairways, all that. That's all coming down the road very, very very, very soon. So we'll be excited to have these kind of shafted up and ready to go when more of that stuff is able to talk about. We can kind of hit more and do more, but a lot of really good stuff. And unfortunately, like I said, there's some shafts losing their tip. They're losing their starting spot, but it's just it is what it is. When you have a lot of new product, you gotta start hitting it. And some of the older stuff that I just don't hit anymore, it's time to give them at least a short retirement before they either go into a different head or do something like that. So that is basically what I'm going to run into this beginning of the year. And then I've heard of some other new stuff that might be coming out sooner, later, whatever. But right now these shafts are going to the rotation. Going to keep me busy for the first half of the year to getting all these out there, hitting them, and being able to kind of do podcasts and stuff, talking to you guys about them. So excited to get rolling with these, and it'll be fun. So if you want to see photos of them, all that, hit me up. Look at Instagram at Club Junkie Pod. I might even do a live today while I pull some tips and do a little bit of work. We'll see. But anyway, that's all I've got today. Excited to do some tinkering. Excited to do some building, and it should be a fun month or two going forward here with all this new product and all that coming out. So again, thank you to Project X. Thank you to UST. Really excited about these products. And that's what I've got. So again, if you could follow me on Instagram at Club Junkie Pod. Wherever you're listening to the podcast, please like, subscribe, 5-star, whatever you got to do. And then if you want to watch this on YouTube and watch me sit at my desk and put product in front of you, search Golf TBRX Radio and it will come up that way. You might be able to search Club Junkie and it might come up that way as well. So anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks again. Hopefully you guys are having a great start to the new year. Excited to interact and stuff with you guys more. And let's tinker and let's do some stuff. So let's have a good one, and we'll talk next week.